What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another tanning video. So if you're new, welcome. My name is Devin and I hope that you will consider sticking around and subscribing. And if you're not new, as always, welcome back. You know I love you. So today we are going to be talking primarily about the Sol by Jergen's No Weight Tropical Tan Tinted Mousse. Comes in medium and dark. They only had medium at my Target, so medium is the shade that we are going to be testing out today. I also did pick this up because whenever there's a product that can be used on the face from the same brand, I can't help myself but want to test that out. So this is the Sol by Jergen's Face and Body Deeper by the Drop Serum. The way that I like to use a product like this on my body is to maintain my tan once I've used a tanning mousse like this. So put this on and then use this with a moisturizer like a body lotion to maintain the tan throughout the week. That's like my ideal combo. So the fact that this potentially, if it doesn't break me out on my face, could be a face serum and a body serum, that's a 2-for-1 for me, and I am quite happy about that. So if you're interested in these two products and testing them out and seeing how they work, then let's get into it right now. Okay, so let's go over the claims of these two products in just a second, but first I want to let you know how much they cost. So according to my receipt that I definitely crumpled up and threw in the trash and just dug out of the trash to figure out what the prices were, I believe that this mousse is $24.99 at Target, and then this serum was $20.49, which I feel like is kind of a random price, but that's just, if you're interested in what the prices were, that's what they were. I feel like that's pretty standard for a self-tan, like not too cheap, but not like, how do I put this? Not too cheap in the sense where I feel like it would make me nervous to put it on my body and have like a fake tan mishap. But you know, not so expensive where it's up there with like a loving tan that's like $40 or $50. So I would say pretty like middle of the road sunless tanning product in my opinion. So first I'm going to read you the claims of this tan. If you're not interested in the claims, just skip ahead. I'll have everything timestamped. So feel free to just skip around to the parts of the video that are most valuable to you. So the claims of this No Weight Tropical Tinted Mousse. Sol by Jergen's skincare gives you the tropical escape you've been longing for. Let the sun's perfect color wash over you. Escape on a mini vacay with our fastest way to sun-inspired color. Made with an instantly beautiful guide color and a tanning active derived from natural sugars, our tinted mousse works instantly to recreate the sun's perfect color with no waiting, washing, or worrying required. Okay, we're gonna see. The result is a tropics-inspired, natural-looking tan that will leave people asking where you went on vacation. Infused with coconut water and delivered with a fresh tropical scent of passion fruit essence. Okay, so I have already done all of my tanning prep. If you are interested in my tanning prep tips, I went through all of that in my Loving Tan Platinum video that I filmed probably about a year ago at this point, but my tanning prep tips have not really changed. So I will link that video down below if you're interested. That video is also timestamped, so you don't have to watch the whole thing if you don't want to. You can just go to the tanning prep section for how I prep my skin for a tan. I don't feel like I need to explain that in every single video because I feel like it gets a little redundant. So that information is already there for you if you're interested in it. So now getting into the good part, we are just going to apply this mousse and see how we do. So let's just pump some out onto my glove. Okay, yeah, so I mean, that looks like a pretty standard mousse. It doesn't look super dark, but again, this is a medium tan and not an ultra dark, so I'm really not expecting super dark results from this. So, just gonna get that on my chest. Oh, it does have it's a very fresh scent. I know they said it was passion fruit, I think. It doesn't smell overly fruity to me. It just smells nice, but it's not an overpowering smell by any means either. It smells really nice and fresh. And again, one of the claims of this tan is kind of that you just put it on and go. So the way that the color guide looks on my skin once it's rubbed in is definitely going to be, you know, an important factor. Okay, so initial impressions, color not too dark, but definitely a nice color to start. I'll show you guys, I always wear this like little tube top. So there's the tan line. So I mean, that's a pretty decent line. And again, this is labeled as a medium tan. It's not labeled as a dark tan, so I'm not going to judge it too harshly on the fact that the color guide at least is not that dark, because it's not claiming to be. So yeah, initial impressions just upon first application with this tan, I like it. Definitely a natural looking color, not too green, not too red, not too orangey like some color guides can be before you wash them off. So definitely something that I would be comfortable getting dressed and going out in and walking around. I'm not really going anywhere today. I have a day of filming planned, an afternoon of filming planned, because it's almost 4 o'clock, so a night of filming planned at this point. The smell, I definitely can still smell it. It doesn't smell like self-tan, at least not yet. We'll see as the tan develops, but it is a nice light and fresh scent. That being said though, I don't feel, if I'm being nitpicky, I do feel a little bit sticky. I can feel it on my skin. I don't feel like it has dried down completely. I definitely still can feel that there's a color guide on my skin, in the way that you do with tans where you do have to wash off the color guide. So we'll see how that goes, but I am not mad about it, just with my first impression. Okay, so I am gonna go ahead and go get this on the rest of my body. I'm gonna go about my night, I'm gonna film, and I am gonna do a check-in with you guys tomorrow morning before showering or anything like that, just so I can let you know how the color has developed, if it's gotten any darker than just this color guide, did it get on my sheets, did it get on my clothes, even though it's not supposed to, that whole thing. So I'm gonna go about my night and I will see you guys in the morning for a check-in. Okay, hello you guys. It is the next morning and I just want to show you guys the results of my tan really quick. So the first thing that I will say, I think I said yesterday, I'll have to see when I am watching this footage back and editing it, but I think I did say that I was going to show you what this tan was like in the morning before showering. I could not do that because this tan absolutely needs to be washed off. I'm just gonna say that right off the bat. It got everywhere. So I brought my clothes, my loose fitting clothing that I was wearing yesterday while this tan was setting to try to show you guys like the color guide that got all over the inside of my clothes. So I think you can see here, I just like flipped my shorts inside out. On the band, we've definitely got some color guide all around, and then the inside of my shirt as well. I was just wearing like a nice big baggy shirt, but I think you can tell, maybe not as well here. Oh, here we go. Like look at the inside of this pocket. Yeah, so those little markings, that's all tan. So this definitely does transfer. The color guide definitely does not like set down like in a way where it doesn't transfer onto your clothes while you're settling in it. And so before I got in bed last night, just noticing how much the tan was transferring onto my shorts and my shirt, I was like, you know what, I have white sheets. I don't want to get in bed with this and get it all over because I know it's going to get all over. So I put the tan on around 3:30, 4 o'clock yesterday, and then I washed it off around 10:30. So about 6.5 to 7 hours, which is a pretty standard like marinating time. So I still feel like I gave it enough time to develop before washing it off, but unfortunately, right off the bat, I don't agree with the claim that this tan is not necessary to wash off. If you don't want it to get everywhere, you do need to wash it off before you wear clothes that you care about. So that's just the first heads up for this tan. I feel like it definitely did develop darker as the day went on. I, again, don't feel like I have the deepest tan in the world, but I have a really beautiful, just kind of like natural glow. I wouldn't say it's like super natural in the sense that it's not noticeable, but I also just don't feel like it's the deepest, darkest tan ever. So it really is a nice medium color, very natural looking, not too yellow, not too red, not too green. It just really is just a beautiful, healthy color. So I'm pretty happy with the overall feel of this tan, the overall look of this tan, but you definitely can feel it on your body while you have the color guide, like while you have it setting, and it definitely needs to wash off. When I was showering this off, I definitely had like the normal, you kind of see the color that the water turns and you have to keep rinsing until the water runs clear again. Definitely experienced that. So I don't really know where they're getting like the no wash, no wait, because the only reason I'm gonna dock points from this tan is because they're claiming that. But if they didn't claim that, I'd be like, this is such an absolutely amazing, gorgeous tan, because it is, but there's nothing special about like having to wash it off or not wash it off. You know what I mean? the same as a regular tan where you apply it and expect to let it sit and wash off. So that's the only thing, but as far as the overall look of it, I am really happy about it. I know I just talked a whole bunch, but I think those are my initial thoughts. So with all of that being said, now what I am going to do is see how this wears for the next 5 to 7 days. We're gonna put it through that nice 5 to 7 day wear test, and then I will come back at the end of the week and show you how the tan is looking and let you know how it wears. That's that. I will see you guys in a couple days. All right, you guys, hello, welcome back. It is Friday and I applied this tan last Saturday. So we are officially on day 7 and it's time for our day 7 update. Let's go ahead and dive into our 5 metrics that we're gonna rate this tan on. So first, right off the bat, let's talk about lasting time, because this tan, I don't know that it's going to read as well on camera as it is in person, but this tan is very much still on my body. It's obviously not as, it's a little bit more dry than when I first applied it. It's not as dark, it's not as smooth, but that being said, there still is tan on my body, and I am going to have to scrub this a decent amount to try to get it off to reapply a fresh tan tonight or tomorrow. So as far as lasting time, I'm gonna give it a 5. I do think that you can get a full 5 to 7 days out of this tan. If we're talking about the amount of days that it stays looking fresh, I would say that that's more in the 3 to 4 day range, which again is a pretty standard for a decent self tan. But I do think, again, with there still being color on my body, you can stretch it to that 5 to 7 day mark, especially if you're using like a tan extender, like a gradual tan or something like that, to keep the tan looking fresh a little bit longer. So lasting time, no complaints, still on my body, so I'll give it a 5. Now diving into our second metric, let's talk about color. So this tan was labeled as a medium tan. I usually like to go for a darker, ultra dark tan. I just bought this at Target and they only had the medium option available. What I really wanted to test out for this tan was like the no waiting or washing, which we'll get to in a second. But that being said, is this the darkest tan? No, it's not, but it's not meant to be. Is this a great color for a medium tan? I'm gonna say yes. It really is a solid medium color, and again, it is still on my body. So a lot of times lighter self tanners can look really nice for the first day or two, but they tend to fade quicker because the color is not as dark. But I didn't find that to be the case with this one. I really did keep a nice medium tan all the way up through, I would say, day 4 or 5. So as far as color, I'm going to give it a 5 as well. I do think that it is what it says it is. It's a nice medium color. So if that's your vibe, you don't like an ultra dark tan, but you like something that's more than just like a light, barely noticeable tan, this is that type of color. Okay, number 3, let's talk about transfer. This is where it gets a little hairy for me. And what I'm gonna say is, I would not be so harsh on this tan about transfer if it didn't claim to not transfer. So that's kind of my issue with it. I showed you guys in my like overnight check-in the transfer that happened on the shorts and the shirt that I was wearing while this tan was marinating. I would not be putting on light colored clothing and going out and about my day here in the Florida heat where I'm sweating with that color guide still on my body. I would not be doing it. It doesn't transfer any more than just a normal self tan with a color guide does, so you can just wear dark clothing while you're letting it marinate and it's not a problem. But the problem that I have with it is that they claim that you don't have to worry about that, and my experience was that I did. So as far as transfer, I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5, again, because it's not like terrible transfer, and once it was washed off, it didn't continue to transfer onto my clothes throughout the week the way that some self tans do, but it did transfer when it does claim that you don't have to wait to wash it off. So I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5 for that reason. All right, moving into number 4, patchiness. It's not breaking apart very much at all. It has faded a little bit. It's not that it hasn't faded at all, but it is fading nicely. It feels like it's fading in one layer. It doesn't feel like it has bunched up, around my knuckles or my elbows or my knees or anything like that. So I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5 for patchiness. Again, it's not that I didn't experience any, but it's just kind of like where I experienced it. It's kind of to be expected. Even like with wearing a sports bra, like I did get a little bit of like a tan line almost here, and then, underneath the girls where you get a little bit more sweat when it's hot out. I have some patchiness there as well, but nothing terrible. So I can't give it a perfect score, but definitely a solid 4.5 out of 5 for patchiness. Okay, and then our last metric is smell, and straight up, I did not experience any self-tan smell during this entire process. Only thing that I did experience more of a smell with was the serum. I did test that out on my face a little bit as well throughout the week. I only used it about once or twice, but that did kind of have more of that, what is it? I don't even know what it is, but that smell, you know what smell I'm talking about, that like self-tan stink. That being said, even for the serum, I could only really smell it when I was applying it. I didn't really smell it on my body or on my face afterwards, but that's just a note. But yeah, as far as this mousse, zero smell, so I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5 for smell as well. So there you have it, guys. Honestly, this is a really good tan. It's just that it said on the bottle, like no washing or waiting or whatever it said. And I didn't find that to be the case. If I had somewhere to go and I was trusting that claim and I went out and about in my clothes and not just like my bummy self-tan clothes, I probably would have been a little upset with the amount of tan that would have gotten on my nice clothes. So it's really just that claim and that color transfer that's bringing it down for me. But other than that, if that wasn't a claim, like this is a great tan and I had a really good experience of it. It's just that I had that higher expectation that wasn't met from what it said on the bottle. So with all that being said, all of our individual scores are going to bring us to an average final score of 4.3 out of 5 for this tan. If you like a medium color, if you like just kind of your standard self-tanning foam, if you want something that you can just grab in a pinch at Target, you don't have to order it online, and it's an affordable option, it's less than $30, I would recommend it. I really would. And I definitely still would be willing to try this out in the dark or the deep shade, whatever it's called, dark or deep or whatever. I'd be willing to try this out in the darker tan as well, because I do like it. It's just that I had high expectations that weren't met, as I've said throughout this entire video at this point. So you get it. Okay, we have a little baby that wanted to pop in. We had a little baby that was asking for some attention. So let's tell them. If you have made it this far in the video and you have not already subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button down below. And you can also hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads from me. You can also follow me on Instagram. I am at DevDevGreg for my personal Instagram. And if this is your first time here, hi, I'm Devin. I'm also a makeup artist, so I do have a makeup artist Instagram as well. That is Glam by Devin Gregorio, and that is a whole bunch of my client work. Oh my goodness, this baby! She's 32 pounds and you're getting heavy to hold. Anyway, I'm kind of a hot mess at the end of this video, aren't I? Yeah, usually that's how it goes. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in my next one. Mwah. Love you. Bye.